Yo, what is going on, team? This is Art. I'm going to be going over my trades today that I took, along with a swing trade and the current ones that I'm in as of right now, March 12th, 2021. Today is Friday. We have a weekend coming up, and overall, I just want to go over how I made about $10,000 today trading in the stock market. So let's get on over to this. So first position that I took was a QQQ short. Here was a little video that I took because I wanted to see how crazy the profit would be. I bought in right at close on Thursday, and overall it came out to around $7,700. It was a very strong and heavy short play, and pretty much what I was trying to get into was this kind of setup that we have. Here's an hourly chart, but here's a 4-hour chart on QQQ. Notice right here we have a shoulder, head, shoulder. We ended up right here on our 4-hour chart, and I was putting my bet on us forming a head and shoulders. So at the end of the head, we do have a dip. And so that's what happened overnight. We saw a huge sell-off in QQQ. It was about a 1.7% sell-off going into open. And so overall, the position paid off very well. But keep in mind, I was in 30 contracts, which is very heavy, and I know a lot of people may not have that kind of capital to play that kind of thing. However, that is how that turned out. I made around $7,700 on that play, and I took a long expiration with April 1st as my day of expiry because it is a lot more safe. And overall, the position came out in my favor, which is why I yielded such a high profit. I went deep into the money on those as soon as the actual position came to fruition, and overall, it paid out fairly nice. I made a conscious decision to take 317p when the market closed on Thursday, and so that was a little kind of against my rules. Normally I would have taken something more close to 320p just so I could be a little more safe, but I did want to catch this move to the downside, and I thought I could maximize my gain a little better if I just bought at the money for this situation. That said, I do want to go over my other trades that I took today, so let's go over those. Here are the callouts that I had made. There's a link in the description below if you want to check out the room. It's free. But I took Lemonade, and as of right now, I am in this position. As of right now, I am up. And, I mean, I bought in about 103 on the break. And so overall, that's just kind of something to keep in mind. But here's what I saw when I actually went to go see this position. So here's an hourly chart. I bought in on this like 103 break from 102. I noticed that this candle had a very long wick. And typically when you see something like that, what you want to be doing and noting is that there is a lot more buyers than sellers here. So despite the stock falling originally on this candle down to 101.8, it was scooped up immediately and headed back upwards, meaning that people think that the stock should be worth more than 102. And another reason that I took this position was that we have a crossover that will be happening pretty soon. Ideally, we have this thing crossover and I sell in around 107. That is also the resistance line for my short reversal. So that said, I am waiting for an upside reversal. And with that also in mind, we do have a very strong RSI. We are currently at 104.7 in after hours. So overall, I'm in the money by $2 now. Again, here, let me show you guys my screenshot. So I took the 103C, again, at the money because I'm a little more confident in this position. And overall, I think that Lemonade has been kind of beat up a little too much when the market slid. And I think it can at least run to about 120 in short term, but I am not fully positive to do a position up to 120 going into that. So overall, Lemonade came out pretty nice, and I know a few people bought into it, and as of right now, we're up about 7 or 8%. Pretty nice overall. I also called out QQQ. Here's my current profit on it. I am very heavy in QQQ, but notice that I did take a deep expiry. So, this is the 31st of March. I did buy time. And a really important thing to note here is that we broke above the 50-day moving average. This is the only reason why I would have taken a call position here. I mentioned it on my live stream this morning that if we can't get above 315, I am very bearish because we would not have had this crossover event. And that's why we're currently up just a tiny bit in pre-market. I think that overnight we're going to gap up. Maybe I'm going to be wrong when I go and check this in the future, but I doubt it. So that in mind, we did break above 50 SMA, which is a very bullish signal. and we are above every single simple moving averages. Just to keep in mind, I use the 9, the 20, the 50, and the 200-day moving averages. Personally, I use simple moving average. Some people use exponential moving average. I think it's kind of just a choose your flavor kind of thing. I don't really see a huge difference personally. I just like simple moving average. That in mind, that is how that play is currently coming out. I'm up about 5% on that, and overall like $1,000, not bad. And what I want to also go over is Airbnb. So ABNB, I made about $2,000 on this play, but initially it wasn't so perfect. So I had bought initially on this 200 break, and it did head up a little bit to 202. And so overall, the position was going great, and then it dipped like crazy all the way down to 194, and I was down about $3,000 on that play. So overall, I was freaking out because this is on live stream, and overall I wasn't looking so hot to say the least. So when I looked at the chart, here's why I didn't sell. I noticed that we were holding on to 20 and 9 SMA, and on top of that, I took a very long expiration time. So with that in mind, I felt a lot more comfortable taking a position and holding onto it when I see that the stock isn't falling below these certain simple moving averages. I sold it around 205. I had set a limit sell on that order in order just to have it be a lot more simple so I wouldn't get greedy. And that's, I think, what kind of saved me from selling out too early. That in mind, though, it did continue to run, and I would have made about $10,000 if I had held that position, which is a little, kind of sucks, but I cannot complain. I was already up 5 figures on the day by then, so I couldn't really complain too much. So overall, the position came out super nicely, and I couldn't be any happier with the performance there. This week alone has been extremely strong for me, and a lot of the team members have been performing extremely well under these market conditions because we are sticking to our rules and we are not playing risky plays. Oh, shoot, my bad. I just noticed that this thing is super massive. But what I wanted to go over here is the contract choice. Notice I took 200C, and this was on that break initially for Airbnb. Let me place that right there for you guys. And so I made about $2,000 on this position, and overall the play came out in my favor. However, I wanted to just go over again the importance of what I did when it came to holding this position. So let me pull up a 5-minute chart just for the sake of showing you guys. I bought in, keep in mind, at this like 200 break. It headed up a little higher, and we had a pincer top right here. But notice when we fell back down, we held on to this 200-day moving average. And even my custom indicator set right here pinged a reversal potentially to the upside. So I was very comfortable holding on right here. But I knew perfectly well that if it did fall below 194, I would have to cut my loss. And at that time, it was about $3,000. But I was perfectly knowing that that would be the case. So, not every single play is perfect, but it is important to know your levels and what your stop losses are and what your profit takes are. So for me, for example, on this position, I was willing to take profit at 204 because I didn't know how much higher this thing could go. Clearly it's at 207 now, but I did not know that. So when it bounced right here at the 200 SMA, I was very comfortable actually adding in a few more contracts to my position and averaging down my price. I don't like to do that very often because sometimes you can get into this mode of trying to save your position when you can just cut your loss and enter at a different time. So, for example, this position, I was in 10 contracts and then I added 5. So I came out to a 15 contract position, and overall I made about, I think it was like 10%, or no, about like 20-ish% on that play. I think 15. I don't know. I'm not very good at math. I'm going to keep it real with you guys. But yeah, so overall I played and I sold it at about 204 for a $2,000 profit, and it saved my play for the day. I did take a small loss on ExxonMobil as well. I took a trade on ExxonMobil and it stayed relatively flat, so I ended up just eating theta today. And so I think it was a 6% loss. It was quite unfortunate, but we did cut our losses very early because of this theta decay that we were taking. And that is also despite me having a long expiry. It's really important to use those long expiries because, for it being theta decay, I took, 6%, but I was looking at contracts that expired in 2 weeks, and these are 15% losses for absolutely no reason other than the stock's not moving. So in my opinion, it's extremely important to choose wisely when it comes to your contract choice. I personally do not choose anything less than 2 weeks, and I'm buying 1 to 3 strikes into the money. So that also protects my downside. That said, that does conclude today's video. I do appreciate you guys watching. I've been seeing insane growth this week that I've been doing YouTube. And I appreciate all the kind comments and suggestions and everything. I am trying to get to as many of them as possible. That in mind, I appreciate the support. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friend, tell your mom. I have a single one female viewer watching my videos, so whoever you are, I appreciate you a lot. That said, I will be posting up a Sunday stock talk on Sunday night at 7 PST, and I will be also uploading ideally another video tonight on exactly how I go about scanning the market to find a play. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I will catch you guys later. Peace!